Welcome back to our final segment of this month's County Connection. And for this last topic, we are going to talk about High Country Compost, another program at the Summit County Resource Allocation Park. So joining me again is Erin. And we also have with us Jessie Burley from High Country Conservation Center. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Erin, why don't you kick this one off by telling us, giving us a little background on the compost facility.
Okay. In 2007, with the beetle kill epidemic that we had here in Summit County, that really prompted us to look at a program that would be sustainable and just really help divert those products from the landfill. We were just overwhelmed with tonnages of beetle kill.
Sure.
And really had no outlet, no use. So that prompted the county to look at a compost program, a commercial compost program.
Right, because it'd be kind of tragic for all that to end up in the landfill.
To end up in the landfill, and to us, I mean, it's tragic to see it in the county as it is, but
right.
To bury it in the landfill, and that's a very valuable resource. So
Sure.
we looked at the compost program and started looking at the engineering side of it and the permitting side and what it would take to get that process going. And we initiated everything in 2007. In 2008, we got our permit and we started composting. So the compost program initially was designed to accommodate the beetle kill in the county and the biosolids from the wastewater treatment plants.
Okay.
So we've been composting ever since.
All right.
So
fast forwarding to today, can you give us a little behind the scenes of how composting works up there?
Yeah. Oh, compost is an amazing science. It's been around for thousands of years, but it's amazing with technology and what we're able to do to get this process to work and speed up rapidly.
Okay.
We have a process. It requires 4 main ingredients. We need a carbon source, which is our bulking agent for compost, which is the beetle kill wood that we have lots of. Our feedstock is our nitrogen source, which is our biosolids from our wastewater treatment plants, and also our food scraps that we recycle that go into that program. That's our nitrogen source. Then we need moisture and oxygen. And we have a process that is, we found some challenges over the years at Elevation, but we have a process which is called MSAP, which is moderated static aerated piles. And what that involves in is there's the chemistry in that windrow process. We have to meet PRP, which is pathogen reduction and process.
Yeah.
So as we do that, we're monitored by the state and regulated by the state and EPA to make sure that we get rid of those pathogens in the compost process. So as we mix all these ingredients together and put them into a windrow, our process.
And for the for folks who don't know what a windrow is,
So
kind of a big pile.
A big pile, yes, that's correct.
That might be the more technical term.
Yep. We have a mixing pad when we mix all of our ingredients together, and we take a loader, a front end loader, and we start a windrow, and we build that pile vertically, roughly 12 feet, and horizontally, depending on the length of the pad and the windrow, we build some windrows up to 100 yards. So during that time, we're doing temperatures and monitoring and making sure that everything's happened what it's supposed to do to maintain temperature to meet our requirements from the state. And during that time, we have about 116-day, 115-day window to where we can mature that compost and meet all the requirements that we're required to make. And then we're able to send tests off and lab work and get everything tested and approved. And once that takes place and once that's finished, then we're able to take that product and sell it.
Okay. So it sounds a little tricky given that our winters, like this year, our winter lasted like 11 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But so maintaining proper temperatures in a climate that's as cold as ours and as high as ours.
It is a challenge. There's a lot of folks when we came on board with this, applying for our permit, said that we would not be able to do it at elevations in our short windows. And we had a lot of support and a lot of professional, some companies on the Front Range that do composting, commercial composting, recommended this process. And why it's unique is because we're able to produce that compost and have a finished product in 115 days. So we have a very short window to maintain and get those temperatures. And once we get those temperatures, we're good to go. And so it's been a successful program over the years, and we plan on making this program even bigger.
Awesome.
Years to come. So.
All right. So how much material is diverted from landfill through the program?
Roughly in 2013, we diverted right around 7,000 tons of material. That's including slash, that's the biosolids, and that would be also including the food scraps. Green waste, we like to refer to those feedstocks, that nitrogen source, other than the biosolids, it's a food scrap recycling program is what we're promoting right now. And
right.
Our goal is to get those organics, those food scraps out of that waste stream and put them in this compost program. So we have several pilot programs throughout the county that we have people that have been helping and promoting this program. It's been a great success. We have some of the ski resorts, local ski resorts. We have some residential programs going on in the county. Whole Foods is a new pilot program that we have right now that's been a huge success.
Awesome.
So an HC3 and their role with residential customers, and we have several drop-off containers at the drop-off centers, and they've been very successful. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Great. So in terms of how people can get involved with this program, Jessie, why don't you tell us about the details of the food scrap collection program that you guys run?
Sure. Well, one of the main programs of High Country Conservation Center is to reduce waste. So we do that through recycling and through the food scrap program. We have toters at the Breckenridge Recycle Center and the Frisco Recycle Center. So you would sign up for the program. You can sign up for the year, $120 per month, $15 a month, or for those folks that are here seasonally, $35 a month. And then you can take your food scraps over to the drop centers and drop it off just like you would your recycling. And then that material goes up to the scrap and starts the process. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And so can you talk a little bit about the environmental benefits? Certainly it's extending the life of the landfill, but there are other benefits as well. Can you
Sure.
talk about those?
In 2012, Americans generated roughly 35 million tons of food waste, and barely 5% of that was diverted out of landfills. Wow. And what that does is it creates methane, and methane is a greenhouse gas that's extremely potent. It's worse than carbon dioxide. So anything that we can do to prevent methane from being produced in the landfill is going to be beneficial. So, food scraps are a great nitrogen source. There's no reason it needs to go into the landfill. There's a major misconception that food that goes into the landfill will just biodegrade, but that's not the case necessarily. So we try and keep that out and use it, close the loop we call it, so that we're able to make a material that we can then use again out of it.
Fantastic. So not only are you extending the life of the landfill and keeping the cycle going with all kinds of resources, but really fighting climate change in the process.
Hoping to.
Yeah. All right. So how do people get involved and sign up for the program?
For the food scrap recycling program, you can visit highcountryconservation.org and sign up. Again, it's $15 per month or $120 for the year. And then essentially we give you a combination, and then you have access to the toters. The great thing is that at the end of this whole process is that you can buy back compost. So in the springtime for your lawn and garden applications, you can come up to the scrap. You can buy these products. They help retain moisture. They help with erosion control. They have a lot of nutrients, so you don't need to use a ton of fertilizer for your lawn and garden. And the other cool thing about it is that we use it as a soil amendment in our community gardens. So our programs kind of close the loop by using it again to grow food.
Awesome. And I have to say I can testify to the quality of High Country Compost. I've last fall I went up and got a whole big load of it in the back of my husband's truck and sank a few inches. And then, and we created some new beds, and my gosh, like things have taken off like a jungle.
It's amazing stuff.
And I'm sure you hear the same way, and you guys are seeing it every day in the community gardens too. So yeah, it's a great product. Let's see. So there has been, this is to a certain extent a pilot program or a pilot project that, as you mentioned, was kind of started in response to all that beetle kill. And so there have been a little bit of some changes in the works about what kinds of products are accepted. Do you guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. In 2010, we started several pilot programs for food scrap recycling. We had some of the local ski resorts and some residential folks and some commercial restaurants and HC3 with their program at the drop-off centers. And, one of the biggest obstacles in a compost commercial scale operation is dealing with manufactured compostables. There's a lot of different manufactured compostables in the industry. We set our standards a little higher than most just because we have that short window here. Right. Working at Elevation, and when we accept this material and the time frame that we have to have our windrows processed, a lot of the manufactured compostables that we've received over the years in the past are a BPI certified manufactured compostable. And
that's like an independent certification.
Testing methods that they use to require that those products will degrade or break down. And it's been a huge benefit to the composting industry to get that diversion number up, and it's been a huge success. One of the things that we found in our program is it's a struggle to get those manufactured compostables to truly break down.
And these products are like, what kinds of things would people be familiar with?
We have a lot of people use the bags for collection. There's corn-based and cornstarch, potato, all the different bags that they have out there. They got the plateware, the utensils, the cups. There's several different, products out there for this. And one of the things that we found during this process, that the temperatures that we try to take, the temperatures that we do take in these windrows, we find that if they're not meeting that core temperature, they're not breaking down.
Okay.
So we look at our windrows, and we only have 3 or 4 turns during the process, so we see more and more, it's more evident that these products aren't breaking down. So as a commercial operator, when we started looking into this, that's why we really looked at the pilot program initially, to make sure that we had everything operationally, so to speak,
that it was
feasible and
right.
cost effective. So over the last several years, we've been doing the manufactured compostables, and we found that we're not getting breakdown. So just recently, we want to expand this program in Summit County. We definitely want to keep these food scraps out of the landfill. We definitely want to divert them, as Jessie mentioned earlier. That's a huge contributor to methane gas.
Right.
So if we can get those products out of landfill, it's going to be a huge benefit, not only to the landfill, but everyone else around.
Right.
So we just recently came up with a new acceptance protocol, and that protocol is food scrap recycling only, no manufactured compostables. This will take effect, and the start date will be January 1st, 2015.
Okay.
So anybody that is partaking in our pilot program, we would ask you to contact your hauler, go to HC3's website, go to our website. We have information that can explain in more detail what we're doing, but we really want to promote this food scrap recycling program within our compost program, and we know it will be a huge success. And we're really focusing on food. At the end,
so that's like bones, carrot tops.
Yeah, correct.
How about like meats, things like that?
We can accept those. We'd like to say if you can eat it, it can go in your bin.
Okay.
So, and not everybody, bones probably are not something in that category, but you know what I mean. If it's something that's edible, it can go in the bin.
Right.
So, it's just, I think at the end of the day, and we promote the manufactured compostables in other areas. They work, but it's just really, we found it difficult and challenging in our environment and our short, at this altitude, and the temperatures that we have, it does not work in our program. So we decided to focus on the food. And at the end of the day, what are we really diverting from the landfill? Is that manufactured compostables or is it food? And we want to divert the food. So I think if we can go forward this direction, it gives us an opportunity to expand the program in Summit County even more and have a higher quality of compost at the end of the day.
Right.
And that's really what everyone wants. So
yeah. All right. And so you mentioned, Jessie, that people can go up to the scrap to purchase compost, to purchase High Country compost. Do you guys also provide this too, or is the scrap the main place people get it?
We field the phone calls and stuff and provide the outreach, but you're going to go up to the scrap to actually pick up your compost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so what are the different amounts? So I know from my own experience, you can get it in the back of your pickup. Can you get smaller amounts? Or I guess, I don't know, if you were like doing a really big project and you were using huge quantities for erosion control, what's the range there?
We have several different ways people purchase our product. One, we sell bag products. We sell it by the half cubic yard bag.
Oh, okay.
And which is, we've talked about, increasing that the bag purchase size and stuff, but there's not a huge demand for that, but there is a demand. So if you want a bag of compost, please come up to the facility and we'll sell you a bag. We get a lot of folks that come up and just want to buy a half a yard or a yard, whatever they can fit in their back of their truck. One of the questions I get most asked is, I wish I had a bigger truck. And it's, but we sell it to contractors and end dumps, tandem trucks. So we just ask that if you are to purchase a large amount, that you would give us a call ahead of time. We have several different products available. We have a 1/2-inch compost, which is a compost that is designed, it's our High Country compost, our most popular, which is designed to amend in soil. So if you really
add to gardens and lawns.
And if you have that reclamation project where you just have poor soil quality and you really want to enhance that and get those nutrients back in the ground, this is we've had a lot of projects in the county, Forest Service, open space, ski resorts that just could not get anything to grow and use this to amend the soils, and the proof's in the compost. So it's been very successful. We also have a 1/4-inch, which is a lawn dress blend, a top dress. So in the fall, we'd like to say a lot of the folks that want to put their beds to sleep or their lawns to sleep in a good manner, purchase this product. And it's a 1/4-inch, it's a really fine product, and that allows that nutrients to absorb in the ground, and it works very well. We're looking at maybe making some more of that product for some local golf courses in the county.
Excellent.
And we also have blended products, which is a 50-50 topsoil compost, which for a lot of folks that are making their gardens in the springs and new gardens, this is a good application for that. You're able to just directly put the seed in. It's not too hot, it's not too rich, it's just not straight compost. So you got that half and half. That's been very successful in the community. And we also have the 70-30 blend. And so we have several products up there available, and a lot of them, we get a lot of good feedback. And we are members of the U.S. Composting Council, which we make a STA certified compost, which in addition to being regulated by the state, CDPHE and the EPA, we're required to do additional testing on our compost to hold us to a higher standard, a higher quality level. So we're proud to be members of the U.S. Composting Council as well. And
so this is really some top-notch stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, Jessie, how can people get in touch with you to learn more about composting program or any of the great programs that you have at High Country Conservation Center?
You can visit our website at highcountryconservation.org or give us a call at 668-5703.
Okay. And Erin, as we mentioned in the previous segment, people can find out more about the Summit County Resource Allocation Park on the county website at co.summit.co.us. And and get out there, everybody, and close the loop. So this wraps up our final segment of this episode of County Connection. Thanks so much to all of you for joining us, and we will see you next month.